Hey guys, Vern Danke, welcome back to my vlog. So today's vlog is a little bit about something that's not always very happy to talk about, but it's something that's necessary because as a community we all need to come together and to try to change some things. All right, so let's check it out.
Hey, Vern.
Now I don't have a lot of footage of my topic today, so I'm just going to kind of give you a little overview. So I was taking some back roads and I was running around, and I'm just not even going to tell you the area. I just don't want it to be a big thing, but I want to address the issue just so people can think about things. And so I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm not trying to change the world, but I want some people to think about, this is my area, this is my town, this is my home, this is my world. And if we do nothing in certain areas, then people are going to suffer for a very long time. And if we make some simple changes, life can be better for everybody, and then everybody will benefit. So let's get into that. Let's check it out. So one day I'm riding my motorcycle down on these back roads, and I come across this little bridge, and I look up and there's this mountain of garbage. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know this was here. And I could start to smell it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a garbage dump, and it's a pretty big garbage dump. Now, right next to the garbage dump is the river. Now, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I even realized that if you put garbage next to water, the wet garbage will seep down into the water and pollute the water. And if it's constantly soaking into that, it's going to keep the process up until it's gone. Now, what happens over time is people use that water. It may even soak down into groundwater tables and pollute the very water that people are using to wash their hands in their sinks. And so if we let that continue, that is basically taking for granted this gift that we have of this life-giving source. Now, it's just a simple concept. If the trash is next to the river, we're going to have some big issues. Now, it isn't just a Philippines problem, it's a worldwide problem. And if you look back at history, you'll find that it was common practice to put the trash right next to the river. And to me, it's like, are you kidding? Now, when I lived in Newburgh, right down by John's Landing, there is a big garbage dump. Now, people have complained that the water smells bad, the water's slimy, that there's a lot of issues around that water. And what I also noticed is that in the evening after 6 p.m., they would fire up the furnaces that push out the steam. Well, with that steam come a lot of wood particles, and all those wood particles and steam, whatever, it all falls down into the river, and it makes it really nasty there. It's not going to change unless people push for the change. So we're basically polluting our rivers in ways that we can't see. You can't see things that are leaching down into the ground, into the water, especially if you're downstream. If you see a bunch of trash floating by, then yeah, you get upset. Oh, look at this trash. And what is the impact of that? And for how many years is it going to impact it even after we clean it up? That's the big thing. So something's got to change at some point. We can't keep doing that. It's going to impact us. It's going to impact our kids. It's going to impact a lot of things. What needs to happen is people need to realize that we're destroying the future by letting this continue. Now, it doesn't matter pointing fingers, who said this, who did. It's just got to change. Pointing the fingers isn't going to do any good. It might make you feel better, but the thing that needs to happen is change needs to happen now. We need to go forward and we need to say, okay, we've got a problem. How do we address the problem? How do we change this and not have it happen again? And that's kind of what today's video is about. How do we start that change? How do we clean up these things that are going to cause future calamities, that are already causing future calamities? So when I came by this dump, I also went past it with my motorcycle, and I looked up and I see this girl, and she's walking around in the garbage. This huge mound of garbage. And I'm like, what? Why is she up there? It's not very safe, and it's completely disgusting. Why is she up there? And then I see her looking around at the ground. She's trying to find plastic pieces to collect. And then a couple seconds later, I see her another little girl. And then I see the mom, and it dawns on me. These people are picking up plastic because they have no work. They have no job. This is the only means of work they have. And, you know, I thought I had a bad childhood with my dysfunctional childhood. And to see these poor kids, my gosh. You know, and then I reviewed the footage today, and I looked, and these kids haven't got no shoes on their feet. So they're walking around this disgusting, polluted garbage that's probably disease infected. And if they get a cut, then what? You know, they're going to have to go to the hospital, and then their parents have to work more in the garbage dump to try to pay for a hospital bill. You know, it's like, my gosh. How can we change? How can we work together? How can we take the basics of humanity and ensure that this doesn't continue? How do we pull our resources together? Do we need a really nice road this week? Can we take that money and help the people that are at the absolute bottom that need the help, like this family that's picking through the trash? You know, is our road more important than helping the basic fundamentals of people that need things? And that's kind of what's getting to me today. You know, if we can't help the people that are at the very bottom with the absolute basic needs and to help them to get higher, then we have failed the kids of the future. We have failed our own future. Hopefully that resonates. Hopefully the people that know where this place is can think about that and connect to that and desire change. You know, I could always show everything perfect here, but there are things that need to change. There are things that are at the absolute bottom standard that shouldn't be that way. And if it were in my country, I'd showcase the same thing. You know, just like the garbage dump next to the river that needs to go away. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be dealt with, because future generations are going to keep paying for that. And if they try to just cover it over and ignore it because they want to put in a nicer road or some other thing, they don't want to address that, then the future is going to pay for that. And it's going to get people sick. It's going to cause problems. So all these rivers that I'm talking about today go into the ocean. And in the ocean, there's fish. People are fishing for those fish. So even though people are ignoring the pollution, they're eating the pollution in that fish. And they don't realize it. They're thinking, oh gosh, I can only eat so many fish now because there's mercury and other things in there. Well, where do you think that's coming from? It's coming from these garbage dumps. That's my thing today. Let's address the basic fundamental problems, and let's work better to create a better future for these kids. These kids that are walking around these dumps with no shoes. These kids that are eating fish that we tell them, hey, it's safe to eat. You know, we can do better than that. We really can. All right, so that's my soapbox talk for today.